come in contact with the police, they make three kinds of stops. There are three kinds of stops. You're going to fall into one of these kinds of stops, one of these kinds of contact. You're going to fall in that. Think about it. If you ever had any contact with the police, or you've ever seen police stopping anybody, you fell in one of these three categories. The first one is what's called a casual encounter. A casual encounter. That's when the police just come up and talk to you, ask you how you're doing. You're always free to go. If you're not sure, you can say, am I under arrest? Do I have to talk to you? And he'll say no. She'll say no. And you're free to go. You can walk off. And this is just a casual encounter. Then you have what is called a detention. Now I looked at that. Can you see that picture? That little fella, I tried to figure out what that little guy could have been possibly doing riding his motorcycle. But a detention is where the officer has reasonable suspicion, and then he has a reason to detain you. He has a reason to stop you. It could be that you did something wrong. It could be that an arrest is going to follow later. However, the officer does not have to tell you legally, now watch this, the reason for the stop. A lot of times you say, well, what you stopping me for? The officer will tell you, but I said when he has reasonable suspicion, and that's when the officers suspect that you're about to engage in some type of criminal activity. So the officer can conduct what is called a Terry stop, and if you have a bulge in your pocket, he has the right to pat your outer pockets. A lot of times you may be riding with somebody, your drivers. You get stopped for a red light. Officers say, can I search your car? I have an attorney sitting here, and the attorney is going to shake her head on everything. Here's where I have a problem with it. When I was a supervisor, officers would make stops. When I drive up, just checking on the situation, the person that the officer stopped is mad, and I said, how are you doing, ma'am, sir? Why are you mad? Officer searching my car. I said, did that officer ask you to search your car? He said, well, yeah, they did. And you gave them permission? Yes, I did. Well, why are you mad? Because I really didn't want them to search your car. I said, well, you have the power, the authority. Tell that officer to stop searching your car. You change your mind.
You can do that.
See? I said earlier, I'm going to say things that you didn't know. You didn't know. No, they don't know. You have to, see, knowledge is power. You have to give them the authority to search your car. But why would you let them search it if it's going to make you mad? Because the first thing you're thinking, well, I don't have anything to hide, or he or she going to search it anyway. If he search it anyway, then he just violated your rights. We don't realize how many rights we have. We're on computers all day. Look up your rights. Look up your rights. You know what your Miranda rights are before they arrest you? Listen to this. I'm Officer Otis. You're under arrest for your part in the offense of carjacking. I hereby notify you that you had a right to remain silent. Now, I'm going to stop right there. If you ever hear that, you know what you should do? Shut up, because you want to contact her. Yep. Now, you had a right to remain silent. Then watch what he say after you had a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. Then he said what? You have a right to an attorney. If you can't afford one, one will be appointed to represent you without any charge. You said, wow, this is nothing they're just rattling off. You have these rights. Then he goes on to say, after he said, listen, you're under arrest for your part in the offense. You have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. You have a right to an attorney. If you can't afford an attorney, one will be appointed to represent you without any charge. Wow, you're not required to make any statements. You may do so. See, you got all this coming at you so fast, but you want to remember this. If you hear you had a right to remain silent, but you know what a lot of us want to do? Oh, I didn't do nothing wrong. I want to tell my story. No, not now. Don't tell your story now. Tell your story to your attorney. Because anything you say, they're going to look for something that they can use against you. And then you say, well, Bubba came by my house I didn't know Bubba had just robbed that bank. Bubba picked me up and said, let's go to the boardwalk. But Bubba just robbed the bank 5 minutes ago. Bubba has all the money in the trunk of the car. Bubba gets stopped by the police. You just sitting up there eating on your little snow cone. You thinking y'all going to the boardwalk. Bubba know he just robbed the bank. Now Bubba, all of a sudden, he's scared. Bubba jet and leave you there sucking on your little snow cone. And watch this. The police said, why did your friend run? You said, I don't know. They opened the trunk, the bank money in there. Who's going to jail for bank robbery? You. See, and you're going to try to tell them, Bubba just picked me up. But no. See, you can be in the wrong place at the wrong time. Brother said, know who your friends are. Know who your friends are. Friends are very important. Let me tell you, drivers, very important. Be careful who you pick up. Reverse story, same way, and it worked. Let's say you pick up this guy and you know he's a crackhead. You know he's a crackhead. The police get behind you. He know he has some illegal contraband on him. He's riding in your car. You looking at the police, he takes it out and sticks it under your seat. Police come up because they know you riding Joe Blow crackhead and you don't even know that. Everybody out the car, everybody out the car. There's a thing that's called constructive possession. Do anybody other than the attorney know what that means? Let me tell you what constructive possession means. See, you ride in the car with Joe Blow. It's your car. He done put it under your side of the seat. Guess who's going to get charged with that? And you didn't even know he had it, but he gonna jump out the car and put his hands up because he know he can put it under your seat. And if they can't prove it's yours, they'll take both of y'all to jail. I'm gonna move on. The third type of stop, but like I said, reasonable suspicion. Reasonable suspicion. The third kind of stop that an officer conducts, it's called an arrest. That is when the officer has probable cause to believe that you have committed a crime. It's done. They have enough evidence. The PC, the probable cause is reasonable grounds for belief that the accused person may be the subject of an arrest or there is enough to get a warrant for you. Here's what a lot of us don't realize. If you get a criminal record, that's just one more thing to pose a barrier to where you won't get a house or apartment. You fill out an application now for an apartment, first thing they ask, do you have a criminal record? There's going to be some high dollar, I'm going to call them condominiums built right down at the corner of Allen Avenue and Murphy, where the old Jackson Heights. I went to a meeting and the lady asked, will I be able to move in? I make $20,000 a year. Well, there's going to be a lot of criterias you have to fit to move in there. One is you can't ever have been arrested. And if that don't get you, here's where a lot of times it'll get people, your credit score. A lot of it don't even think about credit score. And once you get off into college, they're going to throw all these credit cards at you. Credit card. And I've had every credit card there is. I've had it. But, you know, when I was young, I figured if you had a credit card, you could buy anything. Nobody told me you had to pay the credit card off, you know. So the thing is, they're going to throw this at you. But once you get a criminal record, it poses a barrier. Employment, that's one of the questions on it. Have you ever been convicted of a felony? And if the answer is yes, they'll tell you, I'm going to call you tomorrow. And tomorrow is one day you never see. Tomorrow. Because what is tomorrow? What day is tomorrow? But today is Saturday, so tomorrow is what? Sunday. So when Sunday comes, Sunday will be what? Today. Yeah. And then tomorrow will be what? Monday. So we never see tomorrow. That's a day that we never see. But now this is the one. This is the one gonna surprise you. There's a rule. Police officers has to be courteous to you. Now that word courteous, you know what that means? Courteous to you. That means officers shall be tactful in the performance of their duties. They shall control their temper, exercise the utmost patience. Now, this word utmost means even when you're trying to make me mad, even when you spit on me, I have to, as a police officer, be patient with you. I can't curse you. I can't use gestures toward you. I can't be rude to you. Now, see, you're sitting here saying, but it happens all the time. Well, we're back to knowledge is power. Next time you see a police officer, if he's just standing around in a store, they'll talk to you. They'll talk to you. If you see them working off duty, they really will talk to you. But look at them and see. They all have a little microphone somewhere sticking out of their pocket. That is to protect them from you and you from them. In the cars, they all have videos. But watch what you have. I think when the pastor acts, everybody went over and put a phone down. Is that correct? On your phone, is there a camera? Is there video? So you have video capabilities. And most of the time when something is going on, and watch the slide, I'll get to it later. See, this stuff right now is boring you, but I'm going to get to you and some things that you're out there doing. And when I say you, I don't mean anybody sitting here, children, teenagers, and you're going to know somebody that's going to fit the criteria. But you have the video capabilities just like the police, and it protects you from them and them from you. But if you know your rights, they have rights, they have guidelines to follow, and they have to be within the law. You see that guy right there? He's on his way to jail. But here's what, when you're stopped by law enforcement officers, you have to be, and I'm talking about you, because I'll get to what they have to do, but you have to be polite, and if you be respectable and stay calm. Earlier I said you could control the outcome of any situation. Because when an officer stops you, if you say, officer, why are you stopping me? That's being polite. But I can say the same thing and it'll have a totally different meaning. Officer, why are you stopping me? Well, I elevated my voice and that changed the meaning of the same question that I asked. But if you're polite, because most likely this guy right here, he's polite even though he's on his way to jail. If he's polite, know what he's going to do? Know what he's going to do? If he's right, he's going to call his attorney. And guess what? Deep pockets. Deep pockets. The city has deep pockets when officers do wrong. Now, they're not going to publicize that. But when the officers do wrong and they're held accountable, that's why he's happy. He's going to contact his lawyer and he's going to get paid. But if you're acting crazy, you're not going to get paid. You're going to be paying court costs. A lot of us talk and we touch. Anybody know anybody like that? Every time they talk to you, they touch you. And then you have the tendency to want to touch the police. Well, you can't touch the police even when talking to them because they take that as an act of aggression. You always want to keep your hands so they can see them. You're not going to walk up with your hands in your pocket because if he walked up with his hand on his gun, it would make you nervous and then it would upset you. This is the one right here.